And you're going to reach back for your head and gently align it. So holding carefully, just give it a slight bit of traction and adjust it for yourself, what is right. And then let your shoulders relax down again. Breathe into the upper chest and use that as a forklift for your collarbones to rise toward the neck, widen apart, and release the front of the shoulders down. And then let the elbows get heavy and the backs of the hands get heavy. If there's pain in the shoulder or wrist or neck, it might be nice to put a towel or washcloth under the elbows or under the wrists, and that helps to release the shoulder. Soften the chin back subtly, not just keep it soft. And then allow yourself to keep dropping back. If the nose is blocked, breathe any way you can. If your nose is open and available, breathe through the nose. And at first, we're just going to let the breath be. Just notice that you're breathing. And gently bring your attention over and over again to the breath. Starting to cultivate the practice of awareness, using the tool of staying with the breath. Relax any tension in the jaw, tension across the brow, softening the skin, feeling as though it's moving toward the outer edges of the face. Actually let's start with both hands on the belly. Feel the rise and fall of the breath, isolating it to the belly. As you inhale, the belly fills and expands. As you exhale, it empties all the way to the bottom. You'll feel the belly sinking toward the spine. Pause at the top of each breath and at the bottom of each breath. Maintaining the breath at the top of that inhale. Sustaining at the bottom of the exhale. Noticing the cylindrical qualities of the body, the sides of the waist filling, the back body expanding, everything expanding on that inhale, everything contracting on that exhale. Notice if there's any areas that are resisting expansion or contraction or both. And then after your next exhale, relax your attention, your focus, let it get more diffused, and take a few rounds of breath. Naturally, just knowing, not even noticing where they show up, just allowing them to be where they are. No holding, just simply allowing. Leaving one hand on the belly, move the other hand to around the chest area, around the heart, maybe slightly higher or lower, wherever your hand rests comfortably. And we're going to allow the inhale to fill the belly, fill the middle rib cage, and then rise all the way up to the top of the chest. The exhale will be in a steady stream all the way from the top to the bottom. Inhaling, feeling the belly, middle of the chest, top of the chest rise. Hold. And then exhale, a steady stream of the breath all the way out, feeling the navel contracting toward the spine. Gently pause at the bottom. Inhale, belly, ribs, top chest. Hold. Exhale, a steady stream from top to bottom. Breath is complete when the navel has drawn to the spine. Pause. Inhale, belly, ribs, top chest. Hold. Exhale, steady stream all the way out. Pause at the bottom. Inhale, belly, ribs, top chest, hold. Exhale all the way out. Pause. Continue on your own for a few rounds more. Can you feel that constriction on the exhale? And allow it to completely expand so that constriction shifts into expansion on the inhale. I'm noticing it's challenging to be in the inhale when I'm in the inhale and be in the exhale, be with that contraction and completely allow that contraction to release into the expansion. Just observe if you are having that challenge as well. Or perhaps it's really easy. Just notice. The next time you have an inhale, raise your arms up at the same speed you're inhaling, and eventually they arc back toward the back of the room, fingers reaching all the way back. On the exhale, let the arms float back down to your sides. Try not to speed up, although that's a normal tendency when you add the arms. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Maybe stretching even farther. And exhale when you're ready. And exhaling all the way to the bottom, holding empty. Inhaling, belly, ribs, top, chest, arms following along, reaching back on that hold. Notice as you're holding a lot of things, the pelvic floor, the belly, the throat even locks a little. And then exhale, those locks release. Inhale. So it's interesting, there is contraction on the inhale, those internal locks hold and catch. And they allow you to hold the breath much longer. On the exhale, those release as you're letting go of the breath. So there's interesting juxtapositions. A few more rounds. Inhaling, arms float up. And exhale. On the next round, just the right arm lifts on the inhale. When you get to the top of the breath, reach through that right arm and left foot. Find that diagonal line and visualize it in your mind's eye. Exhaling, bring the arm down and relax that leg back to neutral. On the inhale, only the left arm floats up. That right leg extends and there's a subtle diagonal. Hold, 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 and expand the distance. On the exhale, the leg retracts back in, the arm comes down. Once again, inhale, right arm only. Find that diagonal line. Increase the distance from foot to fingers. On the exhale, the arm comes down, the leg retracts back. Inhale, left arm. On that hold, extend. And exhale. Both come down. Palms turn up. Return to a neutral breath. And allow the bones to feel even more heavy. The face to open wider. Any tension in the back of the neck softens. Imagine with the eyes closed that you're looking out the sides of the eyes using your peripheral vision. And notice how this expands the breath laterally. You feel this more in the wings of the ribs, the wings of the shoulder blades, the widening of the diaphragm. Bringing your legs into neutral, so a subtle inner spiral. Dragging the right heel toward the buttock, place the right foot flat on the ground. Drag the left knee toward the buttock and place the left foot flat. Readjust the hips, lifting them and moving them slightly forward perhaps. And if you want to readjust across your bolster at all, please do. Make whatever adjustments you want there. And if your blocks are nearby, reach for your blocks. You'll probably want them. We're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come together. Knees go wide apart. And place the blocks underneath the thighs. And do so in a way that feels good for you. Soles of the feet are together. And you're allowing those knees to just fall open. Come back to natural breath. Lift the shoulders up toward the ears, shrugging them. Move them down toward the floor, back toward the floor, and then slide them down away from the ears. Again, shrug them up toward the shoulders, rounding slightly forward. Ease them back toward the ground or down toward the ground, and then slide them down away from your neck. Let's go the other way. Slide them up toward your ears. Roll them forward. Slide them down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slide the shoulders up toward the ears like pendant earrings. Roll the shoulders forward. Glide them down. I think one more of those. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slide the shoulders up toward the lobes. Roll the shoulder heads forward and slide them down. Bending the elbows, take your peace fingers, index and middle, and press softly on your closed lids. Allowing the eyeballs themselves to sink deeply back away from the lids. You may notice resistance or pulsing that feels sort of rebellious. Just observe and notice that. That's all, just observe. Leaving the fingers there. They're not so much dictatorial, but they are directive. They have a firm pressing feeling. About a pound, half a pound pressure. Breathe. We're going to leave the index finger on the left eye and slide the right hand to the base of the skull and hold. Beware, this will take you into even deeper, a deeper relaxed state. It may feel weird if you're not used to relaxing deeply. It may just feel so strange. I know when I discovered this, I was like, oh geez. And then you're going to move that same finger across to the other eye. The right hand stays where it is. And fairly firm pressure, same, about a half a pound on that other eye. This is a great, great, great trick for, it actually comes from veterinarians. They use it for horses. It can bring an animal into the parasympathetic state relatively easily and quickly. And now we're going to take the left hand and put it where the right hand is, and move the right hand to the bottom left of the ribs. And we're going to breathe here. And we are imagining that with our left hand at the base of the skull, we are communicating with our vagus nerve. And one of the stops very important stops the vagus nerve makes is in the spleen, where it lets the immune cells that are hanging out in the spleen know, is this dangerous, what's happening around us? Or is this peacetime? Is this wartime or is this peacetime? It's very useful to let the spleen know that it is peacetime. Now in Karen's body, that would feel like gaslighting, so we want to be careful because the immune system knows what gaslighting is, just like we do. So yes, there's a battle going on in her body, but we want the right amount of inflammation, not too much, which tends to be what happens. Just the right amount for the fight. And when it's time to turn it off, we want it to be ready to be turned off. So we're doing this reset, and that will just help it to recognize what's happening now. In a body that's not fighting a virus, we want to let it know it is peacetime. If you notice any gurgling in your belly, that's a really good sign. And then we're going to take both hands and remove them from where they are and gently tap on the upper chest. Giving a little shine to our T cells. A little reminder course on self and not self, which is one of their very important differentiation tasks. And then we're going to go a little bit higher right under the collarbones there, and we're going to rub right under the collarbones. And we're going to follow the collarbones from this inner tip toward the shoulders. You're going to stay right in that gutter underneath the collarbones and follow that gully all the way out toward the shoulder. And there's a point there right at the front of both shoulders. Give that a really good rub. That's going to relax the muscles in a tight neck. And then we're going to slide our hands, interlace the fingers behind the neck. Like you're just kind of in a hammock or something looking at the sky. Keeping your face forward, so don't move the face. Take your eyes far to the right and up. So as far to the right as you can and up. And now you're going to take your eyes down to as far down as they can go toward the left. And at the same time, you're going to steer your right ear toward your right shoulder and stick your tongue out of your mouth and toward the left. Put your tongue back in your mouth, relax the eyes, and reset the head back to center. Whew. Let your arms come down for just a moment and notice how this affects the body. Whoa. See if you can feel another layer of tension just sliding off you. Like I feel way heavier. Okay, and now interlace your fingers behind the back of the neck, and if you'd like, switch to the other lacing. So moving the fingers up one or down one. Base is centered, elbows are relaxed outward. Now, if they're not, make whatever adjustments you need to. Mine are on Lola, so they feel really good, but it might be too extreme. Keeping your face centered, look up to the left as far as you can without turning the head. So as far to the left and then as far toward the back left corner as you can. And wait for the yawn. This side corrected much quicker than the other one for me. Wow. Okay, that was big. And then when you're ready, you're going to look down to the right. Tilt your head to the left. Left ear toward left shoulder till you feel a stretch. Keep looking down to the right and stick your tongue out to the right. As far as it'll go. Put your tongue back in. Relax your eyes. Ooh, slide your head back to the center. Relax your arms down. Holy moly. And just let the sludge fall away. Notice if the breath is way easier in the upper chest or a little easier. Notice if there's just more space there for the breath to lift and open the collarbones. The ribs are able to expand. Now we're going to lift the chin toward the back of the room. So bringing a big arc into the back of the neck. Lift your chin back, back, back until you feel a stretch. And then you're going to slide your right ear towards your shoulder, keeping that arc, that chin arc. And then take your hands to your upper chest and gently, we're working really superficially, just like the top layer of fascia. You're just going to pull that slightly down and toward the left. Try to relax excess tension that might have shown up in the back of the neck, which is not used to this. And let breath in. Maybe that peripheral breath, looking out the periphery of your eyes. That might be a good resource here. Try to keep that stretch by that chin lifting and pulling traction through the very superficial top layer of fascia on the chest. It's really delicate. And then relax the hands. Take your right hand to your right ear. You're not going to do this with your neck muscles. Use your hand to return the head back to center. It's a deceptively deep stretch. Relax for a few moments. You may feel weird even. And just let the body take those changes in. Let the brain map them. You may feel an inclination to move the shoulders down, like a whole new level of down, away from the ears. Okay. Now we're going to tip the left ear toward the left shoulder. Wait till you feel a stretch. And then fingers to the chest. And gently, that superficial layer, pull the fascia toward down and toward the right. Again, it's deceptive. It may not feel like so much right here. Just hold steady and try to breathe. Maybe the ear goes slightly further toward the shoulder. As this starts to shift and change. Wow. And then relax your hands. Left hand to left ear. Use your hand, not neck muscles. Push the head back to center. Okay. Take a few breaths. Let the brain map the changes here. And you can map and notice by how much your breath has different access now. How perhaps it's way more areas where it seems to be able to go. Now we're going to take the left hand to the left knee, raise it up, roll to the right, and move the bolster out from under us. and just set it aside. We'll need it again. You're going to grab hold on your blocks, and we're going to lift up the butt and place it underneath the sacrum. Supported bridge. Now, let's start relatively low. I'm using the medium setting. If you have a great back bend and that's just not satisfying for you, you want it higher, go for it, but I'm going to recommend low or medium as we just start to open this part of the body. Now we have been in a subtle back bend this whole time, so I'll let you play it by ear. Fold the shoulders under if you haven't already, and not too aggressively, just a slight tuck. Bend the elbows, hands toward the sky. Just feel the backs of the arms pushing into the ground. And use this as leverage to raise the sides of the breast, the sides of the rib cage up. And then relax your arms down. Leave them passive. Check that the neck is mostly relaxed. There's a slight arch there, but you're not over gripping. Slight tuck of the tailbone and an aligning of the feet until they're parallel. Align the feet to parallel. Roll the inner thighs slightly down, and then let the legs relax. Let the shoulders relax. Let the facial muscles relax. This diagonal angle will send the breath more into the top of the chest, and this is great. This is what we want. Into the upper portion of the lungs. Track this with your awareness. And the belly will on its own time start to engage softly, helping you to support the structure, not only of the physical external structure, but also of the breath, the internal breath structures. Supporting the full 360 expansion of the diaphragm. If it feels appropriate and you are at the medium height and we've been here a little bit, it feels good to take it up a notch, go for it. If you're satisfied where you are, savor that feeling of it being enough, of it being just right, and allow. Okay, so apparently my bridge is high enough for one French bulldog to traverse underneath. It's like the troll under the bridge. Asking for a riddle. An answer to the riddle. Fairy hero's journey. which is, I feel what COVID felt like for me, like, like a crazy hero's journey. Okay, pushing down through the feet to access the glutes, pull the block out, and now squeeze your bottom. This is really, really good for the knees, getting this butt, these glutes strong. So hold. If you're exhausted, don't hold. Come down and rest. If you can, squeeze and hold. Let it shake. And then we're going to come down, not in order of the spine, but rather arch the lower back a lot, bring the buttocks down, and then allow the rest of the spine to come down. And we're going to roll off to the left side. Grab that bolster. We're going to put it back where it was before. And we're going to stay to the left. So you may want your block between your knees. Both knees are going to be facing toward the left side. When you're on your back, your left. And you're going to twist your torso and fold it over. Maybe wrestle your dog in the bolster and bring your chest down to the bolster and rest on it. Now for an extreme twist, you're going to place the right cheek on the bolster, but that's a big neck twist. Now we have done a lot to warm up the neck, and this may just be what you need today. But for more restorative, gentle on the neck, you either can have the forehead down, that doesn't feel good for my face, or your left cheek on the bolster. I'm going to demonstrate the bigger twist because for whatever reason that feels right for me today. And you might be thinking, what is she talking about? This feels like a twist from, or like a stretch from my right hip. Yes, you're right. That is what this is. But it's also, if you choose to have your head turned, a complete spinal twist. Now, ideally, that bolster is, the belly is over the bolster because we want the belly to relax. This is what's going to let you breathe into the right side of the lower back, the kidney space in the waist, and we really want to focus our attention there, into the back of the diaphragm, the kidneys, and any tension in the lower back, waist, hips area. Let your shoulders melt down. Keep focusing your breath into your lower back, waist. And if you did start out with tension, you may notice that it has started to dissipate, or perhaps it is
dissolved entirely. Keep noticing and expanding areas for your breath to move into. Bring your hands by the sides of your ribs. A little baby cobra lift up will bring you onto your hip. You're going to swivel through center, keeping the block between the knees, and twist your legs over to the right side. Slide the bolster in line with that right hip. Knees are at a right angle to the bolster. Turn your torso toward the bolster, and you determine where you want the face. Noticing it's a much bigger twist for me this direction to put my left cheek on the bolster. What I'm not sure about is if it's bigger than, if it's the same as where I started on the other side, but the other side relaxed so much that it feels different, or if it is actually much different. If it's painful to the back too much, again, you want a block there or a blanket or a pillow, and you want to push the bottom leg into the prop just for a moment or two. Ideally, we want this to be as passive as possible, so we don't want to use muscular resistance, but if there's a sharp pain, you can use that for a few moments, and that will probably, hopefully, relieve the pain, and then you can move into the passive version. Keep the mind's attention focused on breathing wide into the back of your waist, kidney region, and any place where there's a lot of tension. Check for tension in sneaky little pods of the hands. Sometimes they'll just be all gripped up, or the toes, the tongue, the jaw. A sneaky place where tension hides often in me are the armpits. Something that's interesting about the immune system is that there's an innate immune system and then an adaptive. What the vaccine is supposed to do is help our adaptive turn on more quickly, because it's as though we've seen COVID before. I have not noticed that that is the case for a lot of people, but the innate system stays on because the adaptive is like, what is going on? And then eventually it does turn on, but certainly not quickly. But then, once it does turn on, so let's say several days in, we then want the innate immune system to calm down, because it's much less skillful. The adaptive is like a sniper. It's like the Mossad, like a really excellent warriors. And the innate also excellent, but it's more of like machine guns and just spraying everywhere, and that can cause damage. So we want the innate system to calm down now that the adaptive system has got it. So there isn't the same amount of collateral damage to the body. There's a great book about this called The Elegant Defense. I'm talking about the beautiful elegance of the adaptive immune system. Another really good book is called The Defense of Self. Okay. And now you're going to slide your hands by your chest. Slowly prop yourself up. Grab that block. Pivot back around so you're in the original position. You're going to take your bolster and you're going to slide it under your upper thighs or behind your knees or under your feet, whatever your favorite bolstering position for shavasana is. You may want your blocks underneath your hands, which will release your shoulders to the floor more easily, or you may not like that. Choose your favorite propping position for your deepest shavasana and find your way there. We've opened up all kinds of nooks and crannies in the body to be available for breathing. We've created a wider landscape in the mind so that we can rewire old patterns with new patterns that may be more advantageous for our lives going forward. Breathe into that wider, broader landscape now. Take a deep breath in. And a long exhale out. Please take a deep breath in. And a long exhale out. Again, breathe in deeply as though through the soles of the feet, all the way up the body, as high as it'll go. And exhale from the very top, all the way down and out through the feet. Let go. Walking you through a meditation which helps us to access the wellness blueprint of the body. 12 to 18 inches off to the right in line with the navel is a little seed of light. You can picture it like a little golden seed floating there. This plugs us into the human version of a iCloud that contains our wellness blueprint. "12 to 18 inches below the feet, below the body, is another golden seed of light.
If you'd like, you can draw a diagonal line in your imagination between these 2 points. Point below our feet grounds us. Like any electrical body, anything with electricity, it needs a grounding rod. That point grounds us, the electrical body. "12 to 18 inches off the left side of your body, in line with the belly button, is another point. This is the harmonics point. Are we in harmony with our environment, both internal and external? This point helps us from being in a sort of cacophonous state to a harmonious one. Discordance to harmony. If you'd like, draw a line from the point below the feet to this point off to the left. And visualize the triangle at the lower body between these 3 points. The next point is above the head, 12 to 18 inches. This point is called flow, the flow point. And there's another seed of light there. This connects us to the collective consciousness, higher consciousness, universal spirit, God. And if you'd like, draw lines from this point to the ones in line with the navel, off to the right and off to the left. And this is known as the diamond body. And it connects through an imaginary cord or an invisible cord, umbilical-like cord, into our navel. And like any electrical wiring, through the course of our life, this can go down. We lose this connection. Or we feel farther and farther away from our health blueprint. And this seems to help us get back on track. Now let your mind relax completely and let go. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And stretch out through your legs and reach back through your arms. If you plan on continuing on with your day, if you have the time or it feels important or right to stay in this shavasana longer, I invite you to stay as long as you wish. If you're moving on with your day, draw your left knee in, roll to your right side.
pause there. Curl up into an embryonic shape and send your breath into your back. Opening up the panels of your back body, your back waist. Notice the availability there. Invite in the frequencies that you want in your day. Healing, perhaps. I'm going to choose love. And when you're ready, press down through your left hand, rise up, and find a seat. Sitting up tall, notice your alignment, how it unfolds, how it reveals itself right now. With your eyes closed, perhaps you have a sense of something subtle, an electricity around you, a light around you, perhaps. Maybe you can visualize spinning through the center line of the body. As awareness of these subtle energies become more clear. Raise the arms up overhead. Fold the palms together, slide the thumbs down across the forehead, across the lips, and down to the center of the heart. The resonators of the body open, and together we take one Om. Inhale. Bring your thumbs to your forehead center, bowing forward. Honor this beautiful restorative practice that you've given yourself today. Honor yourself. Continue throughout your day to observe how you are. Are you in harmony? Are you in discord? Notice. Your body will navigate you through the day today really well, so trust it. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. Lots of love, and I'll see you guys next week.